Hi, everybody. Welcome to this Friday webinar. And today we'll be discussing something not very different, but something with regard to how can we be hardworking, and that is part of resourceful influencing. When we work on time and we deliver on time, that is how we create dependability. Just a minute. So hi guys, let us start this webinar, and I welcome everybody, whoever is listening to it on YouTube, and whoever is interested in learning what is resourceful influencing. It has been quite some time that I have been teaching people, and this is for working professionals. Do you want to act as per your potential, 100% potential? What do you think potential has? Potential is working on time, delivering on time, utilizing time. And the second aspect is to act as per your potential. So both are the function of time only, right? So it will be a short webinar. So anybody whoever is listening, they can put some comments so that I can know what is there in your mind. So let me share the screen. So this is leadership growth webinar. Learn a smart formula, which I call as resourceful influencing technique. And this is about how to create clarity, fulfillment, and accelerated growth with your knowledge, without additional academics or a godfather. And it will be a 90 minutes webinar. And if you have any other engagement, then you can just leave now. Don't need to spend time here, because then you will know half of the things. And this is for working professionals who are feeling stuck and feeling unfulfilled. And what is there for you is you will get in this technique, you will be a winning leader with 100% success story. 100 success stories at least. How many do you know? And the scorer in a team in 3 days with a victory formula when in my system. The leader with an eye for talent, because you will be admired, because you can spot talent in other people. You can have your distinct leadership style, no matter whatever you are. Maybe you are very introvert and you don't much speak, but even those things can be your leadership style, and you can be highly productive. You can have multiple streams of income, the ideas you can get. You can be a manifestor with a tracker that triples your income. You can be a leader who can himself have 4 days work week, and rest 3 days he can have me time. Maybe an insightful leader with my framework of daily winning stories, a global crusader with a global dream. So it is very easy, all of them, to do together, provided you have this discipline, and you can become a trendsetter. Already you have many potential, only you need to know how to utilize and make the most of your potential. And industry data says whoever is complaining, whoever is dissatisfied and complaining, he is normally looking for an alternative solution. And whoever is looking for an alternative solution is actually operating at 20% potential. And whoever is operating at 20% potential for 3 to 5 years, because that is what it takes to get an alternative solution, a proper alternative solution, then what happens to his potential if you are operating at just 20% productivity? So I did some market research as to why such things happen, why it is so that the trouble starts at workplace. And I found out that there are many other reasons why trouble starts. No, it gets triggered by one or two personal experiences which are not directly related to workplace. And I have categorized them into 10 categories, all the problems. The problems are life decisions. Sometimes you will have a uh, very unpleasant something might have happened in your life. Work decisions, of course, you might have competition, communication, confidence, colleagues, learning a skill, embarking on a big vision, managing time, and fail forward. All these are the categories that all the problems can be categorized into this. So we will describe in this as to which category uh, of this your problem falls on, and so that we can start straight away resolving that problem, so that slowly all other problems also get resolved. You might be thinking that there are so many problems, but let us start with just one, right? So how to deal with this? My idea, as I said, it is resourceful influencing. And how it all started is I used to be a star performer, but not the boss. And I craved a lot. I used to complain a lot, but I loved my work. I could handle a variety of tasks in emergency, but I was never trained for those. And then I did a HR workshop where I had to present the HR policy, but my organization didn't have one. So I had that one. So that was the first experience of resourcefulness that I experienced, and I realized that I had that. And all of us, sometime or other, before having any, beside not having any experience, all of us actually do something which is very extraordinary, which we never did before, but we can do it. So that resourcefulness is inherent in each of us, provided we find, go look for it. So after that, I went to Rajasthan, and there was also this innovation happening. There are 44 lakh women whom we enumerated in just 2 months' time with the help of 12,000 volunteers. So it was a lot, many logistics training, then arranging those camps in 29 districts. Every day 65 camps were happening. Each camp had 10 members and all. So categorizing all that and arranging all their logistics and their stay, food, everything, comfort, minimum comfort had to be there. It was something which I hadn't done before, and it was done. 44 lakh women got enumerated in 60 days time straight. Then I went to Meghalaya, where there was a problem of connecting. It was under National E-Governance Plan, and I had to connect 239 common service centers to the central server. And the central Meghalaya, by virtue of its terrain, difficult terrain, the broadband was not working there. So what was the solution? So after say 1.5 years of our project, we found out that data card and VSATs were the solution. So we did that. That was also done. We established 239 common service center across 7 districts of Meghalaya. Then it used to be 7 districts. Then I tracked Andhra Pradesh, Telangana crisis, Andhra Pradesh crisis. It was a microfinance failure ordinance. So I was tracking and using this data science and data mining, all that, which I didn't have any training before. Then I went to Bandhavgarh Tiger Reserve, where I did alternative livelihood solution again. I didn't have any agricultural background, but still in 4 years time, that area which was food scarce, we could made that area as food sufficient. And this is a tiger you might be seeing on your screen. And this people had only 3 months of food, and they had to go to the core of the forest in search of food, and that is where they were getting killed. So in 4 years time, we gave them an alternative solution, so much so that people not only became food sufficient, they also had surplus food grain to sell. So it became a prosperous pocket of Madhya Pradesh. No? Then then I noticed that I was not looking to be the boss anymore. In all these projects, all the while, I never was intent on becoming the boss, but I was looking for challenging tasks, and I started being recognized as the person of solution. So that was my identity since then. And so ultimately, each of us, even now, I hear people saying that they are getting promotion, they are getting enough incentive, they are getting salary raise. Still, they are unhappy, unfulfilled because they are not getting leadership opportunity. Similarly, Tony Robbins, the management guru, who says, who also has millionaire students who are unfulfilled. So what was lacking in our case, like say ordinary people, we might be thinking that money is the sole reason why we are not feeling fulfilled. It is not so. Even millionaires with millions of income, streams of income, they also feel unfulfilled. So what is the reason? It is the challenge in life, the juice in life, which is why they are feeling unfulfilled. And normally, why people are stuck? Because they say it is reward, expertise, salary raise, promotion, opportunity, recognition, incentive, leadership growth, and incentive. But one thing which they don't recognize is leadership growth. Now, all this reason, as I said, it comes to this stage because of other reasons, which are not related to workplace issues. Ask yourself 3 questions whenever you are stuck. So that would be your learning today, and those are my 3 secrets. How do you perceive yourself? How do you see yourself as? That is the reality check you can do. The second thing is, how do people perceive you? Do they perceive you to be resilient, trustworthy, dependable? Check that once. And third is, how would you like to be remembered? This is very, very odd question, but you know, how that is what is inside our mind. Don't you think so? We always think that people should admire us somehow, and that is where there are many aspects come, and I call that as range, which is reaching beyond. Why so? Because if you are ordinarily successful, even if you are extraordinarily successful, how many people will remember for your riches? And what success is what if you are not useful for other people? So, so you need to be useful for other people so that you can be remembered. And that is what? That is how people perceive you, right? In the long run, this is what is going to be useful for you. Then, what is resourceful influencing? If we are going to know about resourceful influencing, let me explain what is resourcefulness. So you have to utilize whatever resources you have around you. 3 main resources are time, money, and HR. So how do you in my case, I didn't have any trained HR along with me wherever I did, but I arranged for that. So that was the maximum utilization of HR. Actually, I did that. I am known for how to manage HR and what resources, process, and who you need to become this choice. So more than managing time and more than managing money, don't you think it is very difficult to manage people? So you have to become somebody because there are not one kind of people, even though they have come to do this similar work, but every person is very different. So that is what resourcefulness is. And influencing is always, you don't influence time, you don't influence money, you influence people, right? So overcoming challenges with regard to people, that is how you can influence. And the resourceful influencing chain reaction is basically it wins recognition and growth. It creates resilience. It overcomes struggles and challenges. It unravels relevance and it propels towards reaching beyond without feeling burnt out. What does all this means? Means, like say, it establishes you as a robust human being. That's all. And the influence path is find out first what is your USP, and then if you are born unique, then the other person also is born unique, which means you know, recognize, accept the other person uniqueness also, and that person may be very different from you, and that is how you win admiration. Once you win admiration, that is where you make a team, and both of you together can actually build credibility. Because whatever projects I have done, I couldn't have done it all by myself. It is always people, a team, right? Managing that team is something very, very important and stand out to get a 3x growth. Then, once you establish your credibility, can you not get 3x growth? Then, so basically, what? How to manage self, how do you manage yourself, how to manage people, and how to manage time. All boils down to these three. My values is dignity, freedom, and transformation. Why I put dignity ahead of honesty and integrity is it is also self-respect. You have to have respect along with honesty and integrity, and that is what dignity means for me. Freedom is I don't want to be bonded by anything, something. Transformation is once you know something, every day you need to have a transformation, because unless you are progressing consistently towards a better version of yourself, you are not going to achieve a vision. Vision is what? A big, impossible looking dream. But it will be possible for a person who is 100% better than what you are today. Now, if that is true, then you have to be 100% better than whoever you are. And how do you become better? So every day you can become just 1% better. In that way, in 100 days, might be you have become 100% better, and then the compounding effect also is there. And 10 influencing formula path is 2 for recognizing your own USP, plus you have to know what is your response path. Influence and response are very, very closely linked. And in the how do you manage people, in that you have 5 components, main components, I think, which are required for influencing people are: you have to work on your relationships, you should be able to handle change, you have to handle challenges. Changes are will come in your own work profile, what you do and what you don't. And managing challenges is what challenges you will get. Emotional intelligence is about dealing with people, right? Unless you know somebody, empathy and supportive and allowing them to be more all those qualities come under emotional intelligence, wherein you continuously engaged in training those people to become more. And in that service, you also become more. And dealing with ambiguity. So many contradictory things may come up when you work. It is never a simple way. If you think that your life will be very simple, it will not be. So how to deal with those ambiguity? Then perception, performance, and passion. What do I mean by that? To be able to do so many things, to be able to handle more, you need to be more, right? When you need to be more, your mind needs to be very stable. And that can be done when you practice mindfulness. You are very sure, very okay with yourself. And then daily wins. How do you substantiate and um, further strengthen your mindfulness, your personality is daily wins. Whatever happens in a day, either it is a success, that is obviously a win. There are failures also. From those failures, we learn, and that is what daily win is. Whatever learning happens, it is experience and a learning, and that is a win. And then monetizing a skill. And nowadays, anything and every skill can be monetized. We need to find out a way. So these are the 10 things. So let us discuss what are each. So potency identifying strengths. These are the 4 tests anybody can take and start finding out what are the personality trait, what are the leadership type, what is the personality type, what passion test and this test, and you will have a thorough idea of yourself. So when you have these ideas, what I say is, you at least you can list down 15 to 16 characteristics, good bad quality about yourself. So take from each category, take one component. I actually say first is trait, personality traits. Second is your personality type. Third is your leadership type. Fourth is your skills. Fifth is your aptitude. So from each category, if you can take one and make, say, into a competency story, because all those things have contributed in your success or failure. So that is a story. So once you have a competency story, if you have 15 outlined such characteristics and you take 5 at a time, it becomes like a 70,000 plus stories for you. And it is all your own. It is there. So from that, you need to find out a story. 70,000 at once looks a bit hypothetical and unrealistic, but you can also um, right. You can start with 100. Is that possible? Yes. Then what leadership type you are? Achiever, finisher. There are 18 kinds. You can figure out which one is yours. So that these are all, I have tried to outline few of them. And then whatever leadership you have, these are the 4 things which will make you a very different kind of person. Suppose you have all those characteristics of another person. Quite possible characteristics might be very similar. But your attitude, habit, action, and perception, this will make you very different. And attitude is about defining personality. Habit is about strengthening your credibility. Action is enhancing your dependability, and perception create realities. Half full, half filled glass is half empty glass for somebody. Both are the same thing, but the reality becomes different with how we give a meaning to our things. So this is what leadership rating is. this. Then characteristic of a resourceful mindset is a resourceful mindset person is a giver, and and recognizes the existing opportunity, ongoing difficulty, strengths and weaknesses, follow a proven discipline. And action points for daily wins, what we have already discussed, is observe something, reflect on that, rectify whatever mistakes that we have committed, and tweaking a bit for next kind of challenge. So these are the daily wins. If we kind of document this, these are daily wins. Now, let me here first talk about my backstory. So I have so far trained 18,000 professionals to impact about 1 crore lives in 2000 since 2008, and I have so those people whoever I have trained, their lives have transformed, right? And when I started, I saw at least two skills in them, and my basic thing was to create positivity, creativity, and become more in people, so that I could be. So these are few accolades that I have won, and my mission is impact 1 billion lives with 1 lakh super performing global players in 139 countries with multi-billion dollar enterprise. And my system is Resourceful Influencers Club. This is my blueprint, wherein I started with, as I told you, first is your difference, second is resilience, third is influence, and fourth is prominence. And this entire circle gets repeated once you reach to the top, because there will be a different kind of competition. Second is response pattern, and I have 5 strategies for that. One is subtle assertion. Whatever you know or whatever proficiency you have got, you don't have to be very bragging about yourself, but you can tell this let us kind of visualize an interview situation. So this person is asking you question where you are supposed to be telling about yourself, some like say whatever achievements you have done. So that becomes a bragging, but you have to tone down your style so that you are not sounding like you are a very, like say it is a bombastic assessment of your own thing, but you are saying something assertively, right? Because that has been your learning. The second is strong conviction, where from that assertiveness comes because you have a strong conviction where you are, like say you are operating, like say you operated and you are very convinced about whatever you have done, and you can replicate that as well. So you have to be very uh, convinced, you have to sound very convincing. Third is suitable obsession. So no creativity is perfect without obsession. You have to be obsessed. That is how you have achieved. But you cannot show obsession in your response pattern. You have to show a certain amount of passion, you can see. If your obsession is a bit about passion, then it sounds pleasant. Fourth is, it is time for you to impress upon the other party, your interviewer, that that person will be benefited if they can recruit you. So that is how you can give a win-win dream for your recruiter, right? And the fourth is synergizing conversation. They might have many questions, uh, like say they will be kind of airing their views about certain qualities that they didn't like, or they wanted some more explanation. That is when you can say you agree to certain extent and then explain. Agree and then explain. So that is all about response pattern. It has to be very, very professional. Third is mentoring. And why mentoring? Because it has a multiple. This is a example of my one of the person I mentor. How I mentor is this process only. So what do you do for mentoring? You so she joined as an executive. Now she handles the HR single-handedly, and she is the most important person. When she joined as an executive, she was very unassuming and she was not very confident and all that. So I trained her slowly, and what happened is she became proficient in handling everything, and now. mm So that is the way I could save my time, because she was handling many of the things and growing uh, at the same time. And these are a few of the colleagues who are saying something, managing challenges. So when you do something, there will be many challenges, but I have given you few challenges with related to my work. What kind of challenges I faced. Here in Meghalaya, when I established these common services centers, these operators didn't have salary. They had to generate their own income. So how did they do? They had this business plan, and they were strategically placed uh, alongside a bank so that they could take some of the bank's work, and they could earn some incentive. So it was a business plan I had outlined for many, depending upon whatever opportunity is there. So that is part of again the resourceful influencing ability that I had, and it was given to them also. Ultimately, it was transferred to them. And in Bandhavgarh, I stayed in the forest, and it was a very difficult period, difficult place to stay, not difficult period. Actually, I had to overcome many things. People were illiterate. They were not very exposed to modern world or anything. They were not very educated, not educated at all. So, and they were dependent on the forest. So this was the second thing. Then handling change. So in 2015, I was the HR head for the entire organization. Now, because I was a person of solution, I had to, um, there was many problem. One of them was a dead watershed project that was with us. So I was given the chance, the, the, the challenge to revive that watershed. And how did I do that change? So there were many incidences of change, sudden changes. Even as I am talking, I encountered change in my work portfolio, and these changes come to me, and I have kind of noticed this, that these changes are good for me, because I was not happy at those places. So have you ever thought in that manner, that every change is good, although you might think, one might think that this is a sudden uh, loss of face, falling from a designation situation, whatever you can say, but it always ends up well. Then emotional intelligence, as I said, I had at Bandhavgarh, I created an alternative livelihood solution. Do you think after 70 years of independence, if India hasn't no conquered this problem of poverty, then how could I do in 4 years of time? It definitely took me lot of change inside me, lot of adjustment inside me to get to the level of those people, to give them potential, or to recognize their potential to do more. So they won 17 awards in 4 years. They got CII award, uh, and they broke mustard production record in Madhya Pradesh. And they were also picked up by the then Chief Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi in Gujarat, to be awarded. You know, they had 36 lakhs of purpose in their federation, where they have an account, and from food scarce to they became food sufficient, and they became the members of the district governing board, which was under the collector, from illiterate to that stage. So this was a transformation happening for them, and I'm very proud of this achievement. And the lady, the lady who won the Ideal Women Award, her concept was Punji is the Punji. She meant that if the poor people, they can save to generate one small capital, then they can escape the cycle of poverty. And it was a great concept by coming from such a lady who is illiterate. And then Industry Minister Mr. Anand Sharma felicitated her. Then another farmer won MS Swaminathan Award. This is Lallibai, who won an award from the then Andhra Pradesh governor. Managing ambiguity. I said, your boss says something, your boss's boss says something. Something happens within your team where there will be a lot of misunderstanding. And when there is misunderstanding, what happens is, uh, like say, work gets hampered. So here, that solution of data card and visa happened because I was looking for solution how to do this. And the moment I was given the opportunity by my boss, and he was not allowing me to do this, but I convinced him, saying that this is the result that we can give. So I convinced my company also to arrange for 125 data cards and five visats. That was done, you know. And I wonder how I could do this, because it took a lot of money, right? So yeah, but again, because I had this solution in mind, I was appreciated everywhere. Ultimately, it takes time, but again, eighth is practicing mindfulness. So whatever expertise now I have, what I have done is I have combined them into a slogan: solar efficient, disaster resilient, sustainable, affordable housing to EWS. It encompasses the poverty aspect, the clean energy aspect, the housing aspect, and livelihood aspect. And it is for the bottom of the pyramid people. Uh, Characteristic is, how do you go about by this? It is like say facilitate wherever possible. Allow things to flow. Allow incidences to happen. So if you are very positive, then these things, these opportunities will keep coming. So that is what I have thought. Having an open mind actually creates a lot of opportunity, and you have to facilitate them to happen. How? That varies from situation to situation. Innovate a bit. Synergize with people. Uh, Many people will have different viewpoints. So bring them into focus. The most important is start small. Even when you don't have many resources, people will laugh at you saying that, how can you do this? But start small wherever you can. And integration of all the experiences, which is what just now I described. Whatever experiences you had or you have previously, all that you can describe in one thing. Daily wins. So I gave you one pro forma as to how you can have daily wins and having a global vision. So this is what has been my journey, right? All these 10 things which will keep you afloat. And learning a digital skill. So that is what I am doing. This is my mentor who has told me to go take this way. And this is his mentor who has been teaching me as well. And India is a Gurukul system. So that is what we are trying to revive with multiple teachers teaching disciples, disciples again becoming teacher. And this is a mentor from Singapore. And these are the 12 mentors from whom I'm learning. And those 12 people actually have learned from Blair Singer, who is the coach of Robert Kiyosaki. So this has been my digital journey as I have described. That is where I am monetizing my skill. I am floating that as one of my monetizing skill by serving, teaching, and transforming people's life. And this is my mentor in my professional space, where and he's praising me to be a person who always finds a solution. And here is the curriculum. So, how to be unshakably productive? What are the minimum things that you can do to become a productive person? How can you reframe the self-assessment questions to empower you? Then find out your superpowers and without comparing with somebody else, how to become comfortable and successful. The 5 bonuses are about internal patterns. You need to be power of within. The morning thought, as soon as you wake up, you have to have those rituals as to how you will be powerful today. Why to build a big team with divergent belief and behaviors? This is what we'll be dealing. We will take your questions here. Chase your version 10 with 90 days goals. As I was saying, the vision, a big vision, actually keeps you on track because you are not competing with anybody else. It is comparing with yourself. Your vision is yours. It can't be, replicated by anybody else. So that vision only will be achieved by you. And how to take ABC plan. Suppose you have some opinion, some plans, and somebody else also tells you another plan. Both the plans are two parts, two plans. So in case something doesn't work out, you can always fall back upon the second plan. Soul search, design your environment and discipline, helping you remain a winner despite fallouts in between. Discover the disenchantment zone where every event enables you to become more. Call your higher self to be on guard while you rise with gratitude. This is all part of mindfulness, and we will do it in a slightly different manner, the way I have done. Right? So, continuous upgrade is momentary failures. You don't have to be bothered about that because you are always on the process, whatever you are doing. grill and grind to put the process first and then the result. Always compete against yourself. Whatever you have achieved next day, it has to be a bit more. Then delegate appropriate. Mentoring, as I have described. This is monetizing a skill that which you love, which you can invest unlimited time. And for all this, we have practice books. These are frameworks with which you can resolve your problems. The first is some people have self-image, doubt, some problem with that. We have frameworks how to do it. The second is version jump, how to work on the gradual progression. These will be the topics. And these are the 5 aspects of how to do it. Creative advantage, how to relook at self. Then credibility. It is 6, enforcing habits practice, drafting dependability, webinar strategy. And then excellence, 6 traits, inculcation of practice books, standing out in a crowd. So consistency is another. Journaling, as I told you, this is a process you need to do every day. Growing beyond, creating opportunities. As I told you, how to create opportunities for yourself by marking your mind positive. Wellness, upgraph. How you have fallen somewhere, momentary failures, and then to get up. Then despair to hope. Wherever you are in despair, then how to go to the hope side. Crucial crisis is change is a chance. As I was describing, every change is an opportunity, an intrigue wherein you have to do self-reflection. And figuring out leadership. You have a different kind of leadership style, but what is required here, you need to figure out for yourself. You might have to adopt a slight tweak in your already existing leadership style. Self-assessment, this is part of our secret one, how to manage self. So are you inspiring leader? Are you an inspiring leader? So you have to ask yourself this question again and again. Strategic mentoring, mentor and get mentored. Spontaneity is killing lethargy. Taking responsibility, attitude shift, body capacity, own one skill, expectation aligned. O Phoenix, it is sensitivity to being thick skinned. Suppose sometimes you are failing and you are to face some criticism. Inner depth, practice books on equality, inclusion, and empathy. Different decision, 3 practice books to accommodative decision making. 3 practice books for natural creativity. And these are few. The entire course is valued at 59,994, almost 60,000. And the practice book each is valued at $47, which comes to 1,11,000. Total, it is 1,70,000. But on today's price, whoever listens to this, it is at 9,999 only. Right? So that's it. Let me see if any of you have any question. If not, then we can have the questions later on, whoever is watching this, and you can send me a mail asking those questions. Thank you for being with me for so long. Thank you.